Last week, I posted a video talking about why we worry about the future. The pressure, worrying about our career, not knowing where we'll be in 5 years. And in a nutshell, that last week's video was me worrying about if I am doing life right. So in this video, I want to talk about the 5 rules that has helped me stop living in my head and actually enjoying life. So let's get into it. My first rule that has changed my life forever is actually challenging my what if thoughts. I've come to realize, as simple as this may be, it is probably one of the hardest things to do. So when I spoke to my therapist, I talked a lot about what if this path isn't right for me? What if I'm not meant to be where I'm supposed to be? And she asked me if I ever challenged what if in a positive way. And I had never really looked at it that way until she had pointed it out. What if I do get the job? What if today is a good day? What if there's nothing to worry about? If you are someone who has these what if thoughts, such as myself, when you're putting it into practice, you start to realize how much you automatically go to the negative thoughts first. We spend so much of our time preparing for things to go wrong that we forget that things can also go right. And listen, this is not saying bad things don't happen, because obviously they do, but it means that you're trying to train your brain to not always automatically think about the absolute worst case scenario. It's like, you know, when you were younger at home alone and you called your mom and she didn't pick up the phone, you call her again, goes to voicemail, you're like, my mom's dead. And so over time, with a lot of practice, this has helped me fear the future less and tamed my mind a little, because I'm no longer imagining the absolute worst version of it. I'm able to open my eyes and see all of the possibilities. So rule number 2 is I've stopped asking my brain to solve my entire life. What's wild to me is, like, I was genuinely always in this state of like existential crisis. And I thought, why isn't anyone else thinking this hard about things? Anyone? Asking your brain to stop solving your whole life is kind of hard, because you're gonna tell me things like, Amanda, I can't stop the thoughts, the voices. You just need to ask yourself, what am I gonna do today that can affect the rest of my mood this day? So let's work on that. So my third rule, or maybe piece of knowledge, if you will, thinking isn't that great for me after all. I thought that if I thought hard enough, I would just eventually feel calm and something would eventually click in my brain. Clearly that wasn't the answer. Here's what I'm going to say. What actually gets you somewhere is movement, it's action, it's experimenting. My fourth rule is that over time, over the years, I've learned how to regulate my body and my thoughts. If I think back to a time in my life when I had no tools and I wasn't necessarily proactively doing anything for my body or for my anxiety to go anywhere, my stress and my worries. What I'm getting at is you need to take care of your body, and it doesn't mean that this needs to overwhelm you in any way, but just going on a walk or exercising, reading a book, a self-help book, a podcast that you really like. What I'm currently doing that honors rule number 4 is I regularly exercise, I eat moderately healthy, do skincare, sometimes I draw, and actually creating this YouTube channel allows me to get creative. So for me, this is another way of honoring my body in a way, because I like to get creative and it's fun. A calm nervous system creates mental clarity. All right, 5th rule, which is something that if you watched my first video, you would already know, is comparison and how it needs to be canceled. No more comparison. Stop comparing your timeline to other people's. Stop comparing yourself. If things on social media affect you and they make you fall into this trap of comparison, unfollow, block, remove. Do what you gotta do, but please stop comparing yourself to other people. It's doing you no good. It's taking all of your energy where it could be put into somewhere positive. So if there's one thing that I'd like you to try after watching this video, it's this. Anytime you catch yourself thinking negatively in any way, just take a pause, intentionally think about 3 positive what ifs. At first, this might feel like forced and annoying, but that's the point. it makes you aware of how often your mind defaults to the negative. And little by little, your brain will be less of a menace. And hopefully that'll allow you to put some more positivity into your life and put those positive words out there. Everyone stop saying things that you're bad at, all right? There, I said it. I know I sound old when I say it.
You shouldn't say I can't, only I can.
You don't need certainty to move forward. All you need to do is make room for one more possibility. Okay, so that is the end of my video on how to stop worrying about the future, my 5 rules or piece of advice, if you will, that I would give to a friend if they were asking me on how I cope. I really appreciate if you've stayed here until the end. Thank you so much for the support. Please hit that like button, the subscribe button, and I will be back with another video next week.